Many people will defy all obstacles to follow their passions, and Audrey Mestre, a French freediver who holds the world record, is one of them. She made the decision to set a new deep dive record within a month of breaking the existing one. Trouble began, though, when a dive that should have only taken 3 minutes turned out to take longer. Southeast of La Romana is the wonderful and tranquil location known as Bayahibe Beach. It includes quiet, secluded beaches that offer a calm retreat from busy places. Coconut and palm palms add to the natural charm of these beaches. The town, where guests may indulge in many dining options and enjoy the lively ambience of pubs, is located around 1.2 miles from the beach. JUAN BRITO and his family, who immigrated from Puerto Rico, founded Bayahibe as a fishing community in 1874. Now, it is a well-liked tourist destination. Unquestionably, scuba diving is Bayahibe's main draw, making it the best place in the Dominican Republic for scuba diving. Numerous scuba diving businesses are scattered across the main beach area, facilitating exploration of the various dive locations nearby. Divers can easily access the roughly 20 designated dive sites nearby Bayahibe, using the diving boats that are readily accessible. French freediver Audrey Mestre, who was born on August 11, 1974, is well known for setting world records in her discipline. She is a native of Saint Denis, Seine-Saint-Denis, and she grew up in a family that loved scuba diving and snorkeling. Even as a newborn, Audrey developed a liking for swimming. She had a lot of scuba diving experience by the time she was 13, but she had to wait until she was 16 to hit her full certification in order to follow French laws. When Audrey was a teenager, her family moved to Mexico City, where she furthered her education and learned to speak Spanish effectively. Eventually, she decided to study marine biology at a university in La Paz, Mexico, as a result of her need for knowledge. Due to her passion with aquatic activities, Audrey Mestre met accomplished freediver Francisco "Pippin" Ferreras in 1996. As their bond deepened, Mestre made the decision to move to Miami, Florida, where she joined Pippin and started a serious investigation into the world of freediving. She quickly reached astounding depths in her dives under Pippin's guidance. The two scuba diving aficionados got married in 1999, and Audrey Mestre made history off the coast of Fort Lauderdale the following year by freediving to an astounding depth of 410 feet, which she did with only one breath of air. She broke the previous record for female freedivers. Mestre continued to test her limitations the following year, reaching a record-breaking depth of 427 feet, not content with this accomplishment alone. TANYA Streeter had only recently set the record for the deepest no-limits free dive on August 17, 2002, at a depth of 524 feet, when Audrey Mestre made the audacious decision to attempt to break it early. Audrey set out on her voyage while being closely watched over by her husband, Pippin Ferreras, and assisted by a committed dive crew. She accomplished a spectacular depth of 545 feet during a practice dive on October 4, 2002, off the coast of Bayahibe Beach in the Dominican Republic, setting a new personal record. On October 12, Audrey set out to test herself even farther, planning a stunning descent to a depth of 561 feet. She was ready to top her prior accomplishment once more when the designated day came. She was prepared and armed, accompanied by Pippin and Pascal from her crew. A diver who is free diving descends with the help of a ballast weight, usually a sled that can support up to 1/3 of its own weight. These sleds are made especially so that the diver can descend feet first. The diver frequently hangs onto the sled as it descended in a line and descended to a substantial depth. Inflatable lifting bags or vests with expandable compartments are the most frequently used aids when it comes to climbing, allowing for a quick ascent to the surface. Audrey seemed focused and didn't seem overly stressed or uncomfortable before she started to dive. Audrey carried on unaffected from 1 minute and 43 seconds until 8 minutes and 38 seconds, when Audrey descended to a depth of 521 feet After 1 minute and 34 seconds of diving, Pascal tapped his tank to indicate his approach to Audrey. He was there to support her along her ascent. Up until that point, everything continues to be as it was when Audrey started her ascent. Approximately 1 minute and 59 seconds into her ascent, at a depth of 554 feet, Audrey kept moving forward quickly without asking Pascal for help. However, Audrey found challenges in her ascension as she approached the depth of 541 feet, making it challenging for her to ascend smoothly. She opened the air tank's valve to inflate the lift or ascension bag, which should quickly lift her to the surface in an effort to facilitate a smooth ascent. Her attempts were unsuccessful since the cylinder was empty of air. Pascal saw the problem and made an effort to add some air to Audrey's lift bag. The bag attempted to climb quickly, but was hampered by insufficient inflating, a strong current, and Audrey's rope's non-vertical position. Audrey did not ask for help and maintained her composure despite these difficulties. At 540 feet below the surface, Audrey started to slowly ascend. For around 2 to 3 seconds, Pascal watched Audrey ascend above him before continuing to climb beside her. Pascal realized Audrey was carrying the ascension bag and had ascended above him. A sudden occurrence happened as the lift bag quickly tore on a cable as it was ascending. 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the plunge, at a height of 393 feet, Audrey's rise began to progressively slow down and resemble the gentle descent of an autumn leaf. Audrey suddenly fell unconscious. She sank to a depth of 406 feet in just 15 seconds before Pascal Bernabe caught up with her. Pascal became aware that Audrey was unconscious at this point. This unexpected event made it risky for Pascal to continue advancing, so he started getting ready to move Audrey. She spent more than 8.5 minutes below during a dive that was only supposed to last 3 minutes. Armed with dive equipment and worried about his wife's safety, Audrey's husband dove beneath the surface to look into the matter. Pascal gave Audrey to Pipin to complete the ascent once they reached a depth of 291 feet. He attempted unsuccessfully to revive his loving wife after seeing her unresponsive. Audrey was successfully brought to the surface, and it was found that she still had a pulse. Unfortunately, due to the lack of available medical professionals and Pipin's attempt to revive her in the water, valuable time was lost. When the window of chance finally closed, she was pronounced dead when she arrived at a hospital on land. According to information found in the Dominican Republic's archives, the autopsy was carried out on October 13, 2002, by doctors Danid Moquit Mendez and Ana Felipe Mercedes. According to the autopsy report, blood and urine samples were examined, and it was found that no alcohol nor narcotics were present. The study also highlights the finding of enlarged lungs, which is not unusual for a highly experienced freediver. The terrible event that involved Audrey Mestre was not brought on by a single circumstance, but rather by a confluence of many technological and oceanographic factors that took place on October 12. The use of a new wire with a smaller diameter for this specific dive was one thing that helped. This adjustment was made to lessen contact with the sled. On this dive, the cable shifted sideways, as seen by Kim McCoy, due to the new cable's lighter weight and a different sort of weight at the bottom. Due to the favorable weather at the time of the training dives, this effect was not entirely visible. On the other hand, the weather was inclement and noticeably windier on the day of the attempt to break the world record. Even while the waves themselves were not strong enough to cause a cancellation, they appeared to speed up the cable's movement, which led to a number of interruptions during the ascent. At one of these breaks, the sled was still for around 30 seconds without ascending or descending at a depth of 538 feet. The bottom weight's apparent sideways slide was another important aspect. On this particular dive, a concrete weight was used instead of the usual lid weight. In order to prevent spin during the descent, wings were further mounted to the camera affixed to the sled. However, as the sled continued to drop along the rope, these wings accidentally produced a lateral force. The bottom weight continued to drift due to insufficient tension on the cable caused by the interaction of the wing's lateral force, the bottom weight's variable density, and the reduced cable drag. As a result, neither the ascent nor the descent followed a straight line, and the sled moved forward at a modest angle. In conclusion, there are several factors that contributed to Audrey Mestre's tragic death. There were several elements at play, and it's possible that changing even one of them may have stopped the horrible events from happening. Audrey Mestre's unexpected death has had a significant effect on her family, including her husband and parents, as well as her friends and coworkers. Her passing is lamented by the world's freediving aficionados. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click the bell icon, like, and subscribe buttons to be notified when we post another thrilling diving story.